Alrighty, the attendee list seems to have leveled off. Hope everybody's having a smooth peak so far. I know the weather has not made it fun for some of us out there. So we will get going with the weekly update and want to thank everybody for joining us during this busy time of the year. As always, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or the Q&A. And without further ado, I'll turn this over to Jeff Walzak.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ken. And do you say Merry Peak or Happy Peak? What do you say?
Happy peak.
Happy Peak.
Happy, happy, happy.
Happy Peak. Happy Peak to everybody out there. And remember that eTruck Biz is not door sponsored or anything else by FedEx Corporation. So we here at eTruck Biz exist to help you do something. We exist to help you eliminate frustration by simplifying your business so you can make money operating it. But there's a problem, and Becca's going to tell us about it.
Thank you. Yes. So due to Network 2.0, there is a problem, which is the complex operational requirements that are now coming. So the business that you're used to is changing. So what does that mean? You're going to have to change the way you manage it. You need to be able to focus on what happens in your trucks. And we can help you to focus on this with our program that I will get into a little bit further on. But the more that you focus your attention here, the better your operational and financial results will be. Most AOs and their teams are already very busy and not familiar with the Network 2.0 processes and the changes that are soon to come. And they need a way to quickly adapt. In order to do this, most service providers are using our business growth and support system. So we do offer 3 different programs within the BGSS, and Budget IQ is focusing on tracking your expenses and boost profits in real time, focusing on the financial side. Performance IQ is proactive support for operational success, what needs to be changed, then drivers, trucks, and all that good stuff. Admin IQ, eliminate non-revenue producing tasks, everything that needs to be done, but you're not focusing where you really could be, which is making that revenue. And they all come with our business operations support software. This is going to give you a system to show you what you need to monitor and improve on. So the engineering and the efficiencies. This is going to help you utilize a financial methodology that simplifies and provides clarity to cash flow and your profit margins. The BGSS is the right system to employ if you want to eliminate the frustrations brought about by operating your business in Network 2.0. So the sooner you get started, the sooner you'll see results. If you reach out to me, we will create a business blueprint. This is a $495 value. We are offering this free right now. What that will do is go through everything that's happening in your operation and look at it. Then we will implement the system. So get started on implementing those different programs, and then you will see the results and get the results that you need. So don't
Oops.
wait until after peak to get started.
And here's where you can scan this code. And is that where they can get in
Yeah,
the
absolutely. You can scan this QR code or email me at becca@etruckbiz.com, and then we can schedule a session and create your business blueprint, or I can just answer some questions about the programs, whatever it is, but I'm here to help you. So please get a hold of me either way.
Okay, very cool. Now, we'll try it again this week. We'll have a poll question for you. Do you make or lose money during peak? So, well, look at that. If you wouldn't mind, will you answer those of you on here? Do you make money or lose money at peak? During peak, during peak, not at peak. Are you at peak or is it during peak? I don't even know. Can you see the results on here or not?
I can see them, yes. We've got 5 people so far.
Oh, 5 have answered. So
Yep.
most say they make a few bucks at peak. Somebody says they don't make any money at peak, and a couple say they break even. Okay. It's kind of what we're going to talk about here today too, a little bit. But you can see the results, so I don't
Yeah,
want
we've
to.
got 6 responses.
All right. Thank you for responding. Good job. What happens now? Okay. Finally, everybody wants to know what is going on with that volume. Guess what? It's heavy out there. Have we heard of any hubs going down yet or anything?
Nothing from the hubs, but we're seeing some stations get into trouble. Some of it weather related, but we're seeing some stations down in the low 90s for local inbound service. But I've not heard of any hub failures yet. That is something I can follow up with, though.
That's interesting, right? We want to know. Usually we hear about them pretty quick if it happens, but if that's not happening this year, that's good. So if you look at the pickup volume on the vans, the actual stops are up year over year, and they've been trending strong in a strong way all year anyway. Look at those packages on the vans. Wow. They are well above last year at this time. So that's pretty darn interesting. So what does that mean, Ken? That means there are more accounts out there than there used to be.
Exactly. And that's the impact of Network 2.0.
Well, there you go. Pretty big move up. And it's over where we were this time last year, which was expected. It's about one, and stop wise, it's about 1.4% over where we were last year at this time during peak, right? So, and then but the packages look like they're up about 2.2% over last year at this time. So it's not a crazy blowout peak for sure, but it's still pretty strong. Look at that. What, Mr. Performance IQ guys, do we want to talk about here? So, of course, the dispatches are way up over last year. That's to be expected. But the productivity, not so much. But
Did we
still,
did
look
we get to 116 or 115 last week?
somewhere around 115-ish. It's just it's about no, last week was like 105 or something like that. The point here is why can this be done now? We're adding dispatches. Adding dispatches usually means we're gonna take a productivity hit for sure. But look at that.
That's a good number. Means we've got increased density, and hopefully, when we were running lower productivity under 100 stops, what we were doing is training drivers. So when the stops hit, they could deliver them.
Training drivers. Okay. All right. The question is, can this be done the rest of the year? I don't know.
Yeah, it says dispatches are up in the building, but we're still snowballing. A few ISPs are failing in each direction. So yeah, this is what if you have trained drivers and you don't have enough work for them to do, chances are you can find work for them in that building.
Yeah, yeah. It takes about sometimes it happens right off the bat, but it takes about a week, and then after about a week, oh boy, you can see the
Yeah, and
weak
you,
operations.
you know what happens is that CSP, somebody quits, somebody gets hurt, somebody gets disqualified. They tend to happen in threes.
Mhm. Okay, see if we can move along here, but definitely the volume is here. So now there's a question out there. There's a something going on, right? Is the Network 2.0 settlement engineering model under review? So what do we mean by that? Those of you that are in 2.0 know that your operation is very different than it used to be because you're having to do things at certain times when you didn't have to do that before. Now there's a little bit of it on the just ground side, but not like nothing like what it is in the 2.0 side of things. And what we mean by is the settlement model under review. If we think back, what is it, about 2 years now, Ken?
Yes.
That this started, what didn't they have a different way of paying folks to begin with?
Yeah, at first it was you had to achieve 98.5 in your time definite models for the AM deliveries. And that was one group of measurement. Then you also had to have 98.5 in your 5 PMs and your 8 PMs in order to get paid a certain amount per stop. And that per stop ranged from a nickel to $1.25 to $1.50 to
Oh, there was
$4.
more than that. Some of them were like $8 and stuff.
So it was kind of all over the place. Like to say it made sense, but it really didn't. So then I think it was about a year ago they started to revise this model.
And it's been changing some, and we don't want to spread anything that's wrong, but we've seen there's evidence that things are changing, and really we would want to ask Carrie because she sees the Network 2.0 negotiations right on the cutting edge of things. So, hey, Carrie, is there something going on here?
Well, it seems to be after they did away with the additional stop charge model, they then instituted like a weekly service charge amount that they would give contractors weekly, and those varied also. Now they've taken that away, and supposedly they have incorporated any time definite money increase to the contracts that you are negotiating. So that is the latest that we've seen. However, the other thing that we have been seeing is there's different amounts, with the change of the definition and knowing where they started with additional stop charges, it's really, really hard to tell what type of an increase they're giving you that has to do with time definite delivery. So I believe there is also service changes, Ken, from where they started on this contract.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have the 98.5 qualification, but at the same time, they're rolling that 98.5 into all of your service categories, local inbound and your time definites, all of your time definites into the categories.
Right. So that has changed also.
Didn't they used to put a moratorium on doing negotiations during peak?
Yes, that is another interesting fact that I can attest to right now. There a lot of 2.0 negotiations going on right now in the middle of peak, which is really crazy. Not only do you have to complete this negotiation during peak, but it is for most of the time, it's for a totally new definition. So how can you have time to digest the information, let alone go through a negotiation process? They give you this 20-page packet a few months back and give you the offers, like MISO offers in the PCAT right now. And then they say, okay, you have a week to decide whether you want a MISO and another week to decide on negotiating. And let me tell you, the other caveat to that is they are very, very insistent on finishing the negotiation by that end date. There's even been some chatter out there that negotiators have been kind of, I don't know, in my mind, it seems like a threat. I'm not going to say it is, but they're telling the contractor, if you don't come to an agreement or don't choose a MISO or don't finish your negotiation by this end date, then your CSA may be put out for bid. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there right now with these negotiations. And it's concerning to me because it is having to do with the 2.0 transition, and that is a very, very important negotiation, especially if your definition has changed. So let me tell you, I'm here if you need help. We've done many of these. I've lost track of how many, but we have a lot of knowledge in this area and a lot of data to go by that we can help you navigate the 2.0 negotiation, especially if you are under the gun and getting this done during peak.
Okay, so a lot of activity over there in negotiation land, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
So until whatever might happen with the settlement model happens, maybe nothing, who knows? Until then, what could be done if you're experiencing thin margins? So as a FedEx service provider, you deliver exceptional service every day, often outperforming regional carriers and same-day providers. There's a lot of those folks popping up out of nowhere. However, many contractors in this business operate on razor-thin margins. Can you transform from squeaking by to building a very lucrative business? Is that possible? we're going to look at some key factors that drive profitability in the new era of Network 2.0 and share strategies to optimize your operations to boost your bottom line. The Network 2.0 challenge is about the new complexities facing service providers as they integrate time-definite express services into their ground operation. This integration is leading to issues like adjusting settlement charges to the new operational realities. That's a big deal. That's what Carrie's talking about. Existing inefficiencies in the network are being amplified by these changes. The result is that profits don't match the efforts being put in, with operational costs rising faster than revenue. Many 2.0 service providers are struggling despite providing exceptional service. This is because exceptional service doesn't automatically translate to exceptional profits. So here, why there's 3 key reasons. Operational inefficiencies. Without streamlined processes, costs spiral out of control. Every wasted minute and every wasted extra mile impacts the bottom line. Lack of engineering, operating without foundational systems to measure, manage, and improve performance consistently results in spending more than budgeted for. And of course, there's Network 2.0 challenges. Ground's last mile engineering is still adapting to express integration complexities. Settlement charges may not fully cover operational costs, but there's evidence that this is rapidly improving, and it's happening. There's some contractors that are fighting this battle, so the rest of you don't have to, right?
I think we had one on last week.
You certainly did. So as a service provider, you've dedicated yourself to delivering high quality service to your customers. However, the challenges you face can sometimes make it difficult to achieve the profits you deserve. But the good news is, with the right strategy, you can turn those challenges into opportunities for growth. The key to building a lucrative enterprise is not about luck, but rather strategic engineering of expenses and efficiency. Small gains in operational metrics like stops per on-road hour can drive 5% or greater financial improvements. Administrative efficiency gains of just 3% can also have a meaningful impact. But the real power comes from compounding returns. Even small incremental improvements can multiply over time to drive margin increases. The combination of operational, administrative, and compounding improvements is a recipe for engineering a highly profitable business. Those of you that have been through our budgeting exercise, and sometimes I'm not sure if the Network 2.0 negotiation analysis does this or not, but definitely the budget exercise does. We can show you what happens if you can get the guys to do a half a stop more an hour, or 1 stop more an hour, or maybe ask yourself, can your guys do 2 more stops an hour on average? The answer is yes, because guess what we just saw in the productivity graph we just showed? Some of those guys are some of those dispatch, how can we be up 10 and 15 stops per dispatch?
Basically, there's two different factors. Your stops per hour increase, and normally your stops per hour will increase when your density increases. If your density increases by 10%, your stops per hour should increase by 5%. It's kind of a 2-to-1 ratio there. So, because it's an oxymoron, the most unproductive thing a driver does is drive. So we want them delivering stops rather than driving by past stops, they can stop.
But the point is, if we don't have to do 50 more stops per dispatch. I mean, we'd like to, that'd be great.
It gives you the ability to increase capacity without adding resources and costs.
There's that. So the eTruck Biz business growth and support system is a comprehensive solution designed to help contractors navigate the complexities of Network 2.0 and build thriving businesses. It offers 3 key benefits. Optimizes your operations, which means you can gain full control over what happens in your trucks. That's the big, huge thing, at least for us, going to be for 2026 is gain control over what happens in the trucks. Do we need to do that, Ken?
No, we might.
Does everybody know do you know what's going on in your trucks right now? Yeah, Jeff, they're working their butts off. It might be, but sometimes it doesn't happen, right?
I talked to a customer today that they found the driver was sitting for 2 hours behind business stops, so he would get help at the end of the day.
Get some
So
help.
that they caught him, and because they wanted to see what was happening in the truck. Well, he was taking a snooze for a couple hours and then telling everybody, "Oh, I need help, I need help."
Why not?
So
And hey, there are tools. There are tools to find that stuff too.
And we're
You know,
gonna hey, don't let the cat out of the bag there, Bob. We got a big thing coming up.
okay.
Just
Oh, I
that's
wouldn't even get into that. That's even bigger than what I was talking about.
that's going to be
Watch
the
out.
big difference there. That's right. But you're right. The metrics show it, right? We just looked at another metric. There's if we're watching, we'll see. The problem is sometimes we don't have time or don't watch.
That's
Anyway,
because we're doing MMRs and administrative stuff that we don't need to be doing. That's why.
you're right. You're exactly right. So anyway, I think that's the last slide. Oh, take control of your future. The choice is yours. Continue struggling within margins and uncertainty, or take decisive action to engineer your business for predictable revenue and exceptional growth. All right, Ken, are there any questions for what we covered here today?
right now there is not,
There are not. Oops.
just because as this customer who is in the BGSS found out yesterday, this driver was sitting for 2 hours at a time. Now, did they fire the person? No. Did they let the person know they were being put in the penalty box today? Yep. I think they could have penalized them a little bit more. What they did, they put this person with another driver that was going to make them hustle their butt off all day long. So the person is a helper now with a driver that normally does 130 stops. They've got 160 stops. And that driver that has the helper today is very happy. She says, I like getting people that are in the penalty box because they're going to work for me today. So you can see these things, you can find these things. As I said, if you have drivers doing 15 stops per hour, you're at one capacity level. The minute they go to 18 stops per hour, if I take 15 times 8, that person can do 120 stops. Now, if I take just 16 stops times 8, I'm up to 128. So for every stop per hour, you're going to increase 8 stops if you're going to have them on the road 8 hours. That's significant. And I put that across your entire operation. If I've got 8 stops times 20 dispatches, I've just increased 160 stops. Guess what I did? I cut 2 routes out, or I stopped myself from hiring 2 drivers, all the cost of the training, and adding 2 resources. All right.
That's what we're trying to say, right? Is these it makes financial sense to watch what's going on in the trucks.
Yes. Especially if nothing is going on the truck in the truck for 2 hours.
Right. Okay. Look, everybody get back to peak.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody taking time to join us today. I think we'll be rolling out some stuff here in the future that will help you see what's going on in your truck. But I want to thank you for your time. Please focus on safety in your operation. Roads are more crowded. Kids end up on snow days. They're running around in the streets. You want to make sure that we're operating safely in the neighborhood. We want to make sure that we're sharing the road safely with the motoring public, your family, my family. And with that, if we don't talk to anybody before next Tuesday, please have a safe and profitable week. Thank you very much.